to the Everyday is a New Day podcast and live show. The inspirational show about moving forward and choosing to be more of you. Transmuting the self-doubt and stepping into courageously aligned confidence in who you uniquely are. My name is Kim O'Neill. I'm a twice certified transformational confidence coach, Reiki master, best-selling author, and former crime analyst who now helps empathic, heart-centered individuals shatter the noise of self-doubt, find clarity on what self-love really looks like, and the courage to be peacefully grounded in who you've always known you are, from the inside out. Join me for the live shows on Facebook and YouTube, and visit KimO'NeillCoaching.com for more info. Let's get to it. All right, and welcome everybody. Welcome to the Everyday is a New Day show. My name is Kim O'Neill, and we have another awesome guest, a special treat for you even, I will say. And I'm really excited. I'm going to bring him on in just a moment. But first, I want to say hello to all of our live viewers, live on Facebook, YouTube. So good to see you all. Good to see you, Helene. Nice to see you here. Let us know in the comments where you are joining us from and how excited you are for today's special show. I'm sure you already know who our guest is. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and bring him on. Welcome, Brad Yates.
Thank you, Kim. I'm happy to be here.
I'm so excited to have you here. Oh, Brad, so we're going to do a little talking about you and what you do, but also we're going to get to have a special treat, and Brad is going to guide us through some tapping. You know, Brad, here's the thing. So I actually am not quite sure what to call them. Do you just call them taps? Do you call them tapping processes? What do you call them?
I usually say tapping rounds.
Okay.
I've heard people call them tapping meditations. I just usually say it's a tapping round.
Okay. A tapping round. So I'm really excited. It's going to be fantastic. So, Brad, before we get into that, will you share with everyone how you got into tapping? And I know you've been doing this for many years, but what was the thing that got you into it and then now has led you to doing it for so many years?
Yeah. How does a grown man find himself tapping on his face for a living? So I started out as an actor. And I traveled the world doing theater and then decided it's time to go to Hollywood and become a movie star. And while I was there, one of the things I did was I met a woman, fell in love, and got married. And when our first child was on the way, I thought I should probably have a backup career. Even though I played a doctor on TV just like a month before we got married, it wasn't enough to support a family. So I had always been fascinated with the power of the mind. So I trained to become a hypnotherapist. And I started building a small practice on the side while pursuing my acting career. And then after a couple of years, when our second child was on the way, I realized that as much as I loved acting, doing personal development work really felt like my calling. This is really what I felt meant to do. And so we decided to move to Northern California. And through some other hypnotherapists, I heard about this energy psychology and emotional freedom techniques and tapping. And so I went to this conference to learn it and fell in love with this technique. Particularly, I think the thing that sold it for me the most was when Gary Craig, the founder of EFT, gave everybody a Hershey's Kiss and said, okay, on a scale of 0 to 10, how much do you want this chocolate? And I was a bit of chocoholic at the time. And I'm like, 8, 9, can I eat it now? And we just did some tapping on chocolate cravings. And after a couple of minutes, I could not eat the chocolate.
Wow.
And I didn't eat chocolate for 2 years after that. But I got better, don't worry. Recovered from that. But I can very easily go back into just not eating sugar. And it's not willpower or anything like that. It's just no interest.
Okay.
So just in that moment of, doing this thing, suddenly not wanting that chocolate, it was like, wow, that's really interesting. And started exploring it and started introducing it into my hypnotherapy sessions, which little by little became tapping sessions. And then YouTube came along and I thought, hey, wouldn't it be really cool if there's a tapping video that people could start their day with? And I'll call it Tap of the Morning. And that was all I ever intended to do. I had no plans of having this YouTube channel with different videos on it. It was just that one video. And it was like 6 months later that I thought, I should do a tap of the evening so that people can end their day with some tapping too. And then I'm done. Well, wait, here's one more idea, and then another idea, and now there's over 1,000 videos there.
It's you. So you have such a wide range of videos. I love it because I think of it. I mean, this literally just came to mind. So for those who are familiar with Abraham Hicks, I think of Brad Yates as the Abraham Hicks of YouTube. Like anything and everything that you want to tap on, you have
There's
right
a
there.
tap for that.
Yeah, exactly. That's your tagline, isn't it? There's a tap for that. So, oh my gosh. And I'm going to just share a little of my backstory with tapping, because to a degree, I feel like I'm still, immersing myself more and more in it. About 5-6 years ago, when I first started doing a show, I had a guest come on, Brad, and this person was talking about, self-care and self-love and all these things. And she mentioned tapping and how great it is. And I was totally resistant to it, Brad. I was totally resistant. It cracks me up now because I was pairing it with what I knew about the law of attraction. And I'm like, what? That doesn't make sense. No, I'm not a fan. And I've since completely shifted how I think about that. Do you have any thoughts about law of attraction and tapping?
Oh yeah. No, I think law of attraction and tapping go really well together. It was really funny. So at the beginning of my careers, I met Dr. Joe Vitale, who is in the movie The Secret. And he was friends with Esther Hick. And it's actually through him that I went to one of her events and got to meet her and get a photo with her afterwards because I was friends of Dr. Joe's.
Nice.
But we both had the same idea about, with the way they were talking about the law of attraction, you think about what you want, you focus on it, and then you feel really good about it. And we were both coming from the standpoint of, yeah, but unconsciously, we're not feeling so good about it.
Right.
And so we need to have a clearing process to be able to feel as good about it, to get into that vibrational harmony with what we say we want. And so then we created a program called Money Beyond Belief, which we did just 2 months or so before he was in The Secret. So
Wow.
it was interesting timing. And yeah, so it's really a powerful way for manifesting because the extent to which we don't have what we say we want tends to be the extent to which we're resisting it. And so this is a great way of clearing that resistance. And it's not surprising that you felt resistance to doing it.
Right. It brings me back to the I guess metaphor of slapping a happy face sticker on something that isn't, maybe that's the direction you want to go, but you actually have that underlying, I'm not happy about it, like you were just describing. And that's the thing that I had to learn, like, oh, it's okay if there's something that's really there that I am actually feeling and I'm just resisting it, then I have to feel it first and release it so I can move forward. And tapping is so great with that.
Right. Yeah. Because what you resist persists.
Yeah.
And that thing is when people first see EFT, and for anyone who's watching this who is not familiar with it and saw me going like this, and it's like, what? And are already feeling resistant. Totally get it, but stick with us. Stick with us. It's worth it.
Yes.
Because there's a stress response that comes up in the body when we look at change. So we can, and it happens with positive change. So when we create a vision board and we say, oh, I really want that, and our 10% conscious mind is going, oh, that's so awesome. And the 90% is like, yeah, you fantasize, but we can't have that. We're going to make sure it doesn't happen. So when people first find EFT, and we generally start by tapping on the side of the hand and saying, even though I have this problem, and people go, what? No, you can't talk about the problem. You have to focus on the positive, you have to be in happy vibration. It's like, but if that unhappy, that negative, that fear is there, you're stuck, because that is going to constantly come up and say, look at your vision board all you want. You fantasize about it. We're going to make sure it doesn't happen. And you have to deal with that. Otherwise, you're going to keep trying to manifest something and wondering, why doesn't it show up in my life?
Thank you for spending some time speaking to that, because I have a lot of followers who are very big on law of attraction, just as I am. And that really helps to maybe fill in the gaps for anyone else who is thinking how I was once thinking about it. And what I also think is fantastic, because you recently put a call out saying, hey, I want to be a guest and share tapping, be a guest on more podcasts and share tapping with more and more people. And this is such a fantastic time for that, because I think you're right. Yes, there are a lot of people who are just now, learning about new modalities and new ways to find ease and peace and healing and all of that. So I'm grateful that you're here. And I want to take a quick hello at the chat, because we have a lot of people who have joined us since we first started. And so I want to say hello to Christy, who is with us. And we have got a comment here from someone inside the Every Day is a New Day group who is saying, I've been watching Brad's videos for a long time.
Thank you for your support.
Yes, absolutely. And Christy's saying me too. I don't know what she's saying me too, but I see you. I hear you. Good to have you here. And we have Alina saying, I started tapping alongside his YouTube videos and they were phenomenal. Yes, it is, Alina. Yes. It's so gracious how he does this for free. Thank you for the work you put out there. I completely agree with that, Brad. You put out so much good, amazing free content. Really, for anybody who's tuning in after today's show, not yet, head on over to YouTube and look up Brad Yates. He's got so many videos. Brad, do you work one-on-one with people as well?
Yeah, I do one-on-one sessions. I do group sessions, big group and small group. Before the world closed, I did live events around the world, and I look forward to doing that again. But just because I know of the profound benefits of tapping, and I want as many people to experience it as possible. So by having free videos on YouTube, it's much easier for people to share them. It's because there is a resistance for a lot of people when they first see somebody tapping on their face. So if it was just, hey, you need to go and pay money to do this tapping on your face thing, a lot of people would find a lot of reasons not to do it. And so by making it as accessible as possible, it's just much easier for people. And so even if there's that resistance at first, there's so many videos out there. It's like, all right, maybe I'll try one of these. And it's so easy for people to get access. And that's what I want, because I'm trying to make a difference in the world.
Well, and it's something that can be a gradual process, like you were talking earlier about the chocolate, right? You did one, and then I think you said you did more, and eventually you just didn't even have a desire or craving for chocolate. Did I hear that correctly, or was it just the one video that you did, or the one tapping?
No, it's the one tapping that we did on chocolate in that first workshop.
Okay.
And then I did the one video, but the video is about something else. But
okay. Okay.
And then started gradually, and yeah, with no intention of with no plan at first of having this big library of videos.
Okay.
More ideas come to mind. It's like, hey, this is something that people benefit from. I'll make a video of that. And it's, if I were more entrepreneurial, I'd say, hey, there's a good product I could sell. It's like, hey, here's something that people out there are struggling with. And it may just be one person, and it may just be in my imagination that somebody is out there. And I'll do videos sometimes, and I'll go, yeah, I don't know if that's going to benefit anyone. And I'll get comments, this is the most important video you've ever made. So I never know. I get directions, and it's not my job to say, what does the job pay?
Yeah. And so thank you for elaborating on that. So the point I was trying to get at is what I love about tapping. And I heard you say something to this, is how you can do one and you feel a shift. I love how there's that check where you are on the scale of 1 to 10 to start with. And so you may do one tapping video and you go, okay, well, I was a 9 and now I'm a 7. And then you do it again. And now I'm like a 6.5. And then, oh, wow, now I'm a 3. And so it can be something that's a gradual, progressive experience.
Right. Because what's behind whatever is bothering us may be a number of different things. So in terms of the not focusing on the negative, an analogy I like to use is, imagine you have a beautiful living room with a beautiful carpet and a beautiful pet dog. And one day the dog leaves a not so beautiful gift on the carpet. You can't stand there and say, I'm just going to look at where the carpet is clean. That's not there. It's just not there. Okay. One, you're kidding yourself, because part of your mind is thinking there's poop, and that's totally in your energy system. And two, if you try to ignore it, you're going to step in it and spread it around. So it's not a matter of sitting and focusing and sitting down and focusing on it, going, oh my goodness, there's poop on my carpet. It's a matter of saying, oh, there's poop. I clean it up. I address it. I know it's there. I acknowledge that it's there. I clean it up. And then I really have that freedom to feel good in my living room. And so, but there may be different things about, oh, it's gross. It smells bad. So, you might do some tapping first on one aspect of it and you feel better, but it's like there's some other thing. Okay, now we have to address the smell. Now we have to address the concern of, oh, do I have to train my dog? Now I have to, and so there may be other aspects. So sometimes when we're tapping, it goes down to a 0 right away. And sometimes, as you said, it's, 8 to a 7 to a 6.5. And we're just chipping away at the different layers.
Well, in a few moments here, Brad is going to take us through some tapping rounds, but I do want to just go ahead. We've got one more awesome comment here from Christy who's saying, Brad, I've been saying I accept full responsibility for my own well-being as to reinforce ownership. Thank you for that reminder.
Awesome. Someone just asked me about that the other day, because every video of mine starts with taking full responsibility for your own well-being. It's kind of a mini disclaimer, because I don't know where people are at when I'm doing the tapping. And when we go to look at our stuff, it can be uncomfortable at times. And so it's just a matter of saying, hey, you need to take responsibility for this. It's just like if you go to the grocery store and buy some alcohol. Right. You can't go home, get drunk, and then blame the alcohol company. It's like you have to take responsibility. It's like the clerk at the grocery store should say, hey, taking full responsibility for your own well-being as you buy this. Well, and it's we take ownership of our lives, as Chrissy just said. That's where we stand in our power. Because if we want our lives to change, we have to say, I'm going to be the one who does it.
And I see it also as taking a very mindful approach of being in the present, accepting what is, and then powerfully bringing in what you desire. It's kind of all of it right there, not denying any aspect of that experience.
Exactly.
Wonderful. Well, Brad, so here's the thing. So my theme this year with the Every Day is a New Day show is Let Your Light Shine. And about a month ago, I started the Let Your Light Shine movement. I'm very passionate about it. It's been awesome to see people around the world embrace it. And the goal is to reach 1 million people by December 31st, 2024, if not sooner. That is merely a dent in how many people exist on the planet. But really, really empowering people to know that it is safe to be who they are, to express their gifts, to be their authentic self, knowing that when they shine, they help our world be that much brighter. I mean, there's no one light that takes away from another. And I really believe it comes down to owning and truly loving and allowing oneself to be who they are. So I'm wondering if you might be able to do a tap on that.
Yeah. No, everything you just said is like, oh yeah, because again, that's why I make these videos, is so that people will set themselves free to share their light, because everybody on this planet is a gift.
Yes.
That's why one of the titles I gave myself is Gift Unwrapper. So, and I often talk about, the concept of don't hide your light under a bushel, and really allowing your light to be there. And a lot of people have this fear of being seen. So by all means, let's do some tapping on this.
I love it. Okay, so I'm going to actually let you be bigger on the screen so people can see you, but I will still be here, and I can be that voice as the follow alonger person.
An echo voice.
Yeah, I think I can do that. Let me, nope, other way. Other way.
You're squeezing me out, Kim. You're squeezing me out.
we want Brad to be bigger. Oh, okay. For some reason, doesn't look like it wants to do it. So I'm going to actually make you be. No, you know what? We'll have to be even. We'll have to be even so people can hear how it goes in case they're new and not quite sure.
Absolutely fine. Okay. And I know this is going out on Facebook and YouTube. Does it go out on an audio platform?
It will, yes. It will replay on all the podcast platforms.
Okay, so then I'll say the names of the points for those people who are. So real quick, especially for those not watching video, we're going to be tapping with the fingertips of our index and middle finger of our dominant hand. We start by tapping on the edge of your opposite hand, so right between your pinky and your wrist. We'll gently tap there as we do the setup statement. And then we'll tap the eyebrow point. So it's right at the beginning of your eyebrow, just about the center of your face. The next point, we follow our eyebrow out to the side of your eye. So right there at the corner of your eye socket, you gently tap there. And we tap each point, usually between 5 and 10 times. Depending on what I'm saying, it might be longer. And following the edge of your eye socket to right under the middle of your eye, gently tap in there just above the cheek. Next point is just below your nose, just above your upper lip. Next point is just below your lower lip, just above your chin. Next point we'll tap is the collarbone point. And if you feel where your collarbones just about meet, there's a little bit of a U shape at the base of your throat. And so if you go ahead and use all of your fingertips or even make a fist and tap over that area where the collarbones just about come together. Next point is about 4 inches below your armpit. It's right about bra strap level. And I'm sure even any guys listening can figure out where that is. And finally, the top of your head. So using all of your fingertips and just tapping around the crown of your head. And those are the points. And I'll mention each point as we go in. With basic EFT, you would just say whatever the issue is. So if you're feeling stress, you'd start by saying, even though I feel this stress, I love and accept myself. And then you just say all this stress on each of those points. And the only reason I say that is so as we get into this and I start saying all kinds of things, and I have no idea what I'm going to say yet because it's always an intuitive process. I'm going to be as surprised as you are. But if it's your first time doing EFT, you might say, oh, EFT is really complicated. You have to say all these different words. No, you don't. You can just say the same word or phrase on each point. And it's a stress relief technique. So even if you're not saying any words, if you're feeling some distress, then the tapping is going to help you to calm it down, even if you don't say anything.
I love that.
So don't let the words make it seem difficult.
Okay.
So, okay, first of all, close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Just breathing comfortably and following your breath through your body. And I want you to think about shining your light brightly. And say, it's safe for me to shine.
Safe for me to shine.
Let that rattle around inside and notice on a scale of 0 to 10 how true it feels. And don't judge yourself harshly if the number is low, but you may find that the number is lower than you'd like it to be. If you're not already putting yourself out there in the world at the level that you could, and few, if any of us are, then chances are there's a part of you that feels it's not safe. So allow yourself to be aware of where you might feel some fear, some resistance. Notice what thoughts, beliefs, or memories might come up as to why you couldn't or shouldn't shine more brightly. And take a deep breath, open your eyes. And let's knock that off. So, tap on the side of your hand. Even though it doesn't feel safe to shine more brightly.
Even though it doesn't feel safe to shine more brightly.
I choose to love and accept myself.
I choose to love and accept myself.
Even though I'm resisting shining more brightly.
Even though I'm resisting shining more brightly.
I choose to love and honor myself.
I choose to love and honor myself.
Even though part of me is afraid to shine more brightly.
Even though part of me is afraid to shine more brightly.
And part of me might say.
And part of me might say.
No, that's not true.
No, that's not true.
Totally willing to shine as brightly as possible.
Totally willing to shine as brightly as possible.
But if I look at my day-to-day activities.
Is
that really how I'm showing up?
Is that really how I'm showing up?
Or am I hiding my light under a bushel sometimes?
Or am I hiding my light under a bushel sometimes?
And even though part of me is resisting shining more brightly.
And even though part of me is resisting shining more brightly.
I choose to deeply and completely.
I choose to deeply and completely.
Love, honor, and accept myself.
Love, honor, and accept myself.
And maybe anyone else who might contribute to this fear.
And maybe anyone else who might contribute to this fear.
All this fear of shining more brightly.
All this fear of shining more brightly.
All this resistance to shining more brightly.
All this resistance to shining more brightly.
All this fear of being seen.
All this fear of being seen.
Because part of me might say. If they can see me.
If they can see me.
They can hurt me.
They can hurt me.
I don't want to shine brightly.
I don't want to shine brightly.
I want to hide my light
I want to hide my light
so no one knows I'm here.
so no one knows I'm here.
Because if they don't know I'm here, they can't hurt me.
Because if they don't know I'm here, they can't hurt me.
And it's not because I'm bad or stupid.
And it's not because I'm bad or stupid.
It's not because I'm weak or lazy.
It's not because I'm weak or lazy.
It's because I've been hurt in the past.
It's because I've been hurt in the past.
And I choose to really love and appreciate those parts of me
And I choose to love and appreciate those parts of me
that have dimmed my light at times
that have dimmed my light at times
in an effort to keep myself safe.
in an effort to keep myself safe.
I love and appreciate those parts of me
I love and appreciate those parts of me
that are just trying to keep me safe.
that are just trying to keep me safe.
And at the same time,
And at the same time,
I got a lot of light inside of me.
I got a lot of light inside of me.
And part of me says I've got to share it,
And part of me says I've got to share it,
especially when I notice darkness in the world.
especially when I notice darkness in the world.
And part of me says,
And part of me says,
someone needs to shine some more light here.
someone needs to shine some more light here.
And another part of me says,
And another part of me says,
it might be me.
it might be me.
Maybe it's my light that's missing.
Maybe it's my light that's missing.
Maybe it's my turn to shine more brightly.
Maybe it's my turn to shine more brightly.
It is.
It is.
And I'm clearing the fears
And I'm clearing the fears
that have caused me to dim my light,
that have caused me to dim my light,
that have caused me to cover up.
that have caused me to cover up.
I appreciate those parts of me.
I appreciate those parts of me.
But a lot of that fear
But a lot of that fear
is based on misunderstandings.
is based on misunderstandings.
Maybe they were my misunderstandings.
Maybe they were my misunderstandings.
Maybe they were other people's misunderstandings.
Maybe they were other people's misunderstandings.
But they were misunderstandings.
But they were misunderstandings.
Anything that told me that I shouldn't shine brightly
Anything that told me that I shouldn't shine brightly
is a misunderstanding.
is a misunderstanding.
I was put here for a reason.
I was put here for a reason.
I have unique gifts and talents.
I have unique gifts and talents.
These are meant to be shared.
These are meant to be shared.
My light is here for a reason,
My light is here for a reason,
and I choose to shine it.
and I choose to shine it.
And so I'm clearing those fears.
And so I'm clearing those fears.
All this fear of being seen,
All this fear of being seen,
all this fear of what people will say,
all this fear of what people will say,
all this fear that they might judge me.
all this fear that they might judge me.
There's no need to be afraid that they'll judge me,
There's no need to be afraid that they might judge me,
because it's a guarantee that some people will judge me.
because it's a guarantee that some people will judge me.
No point in fearing the inevitable.
No point in fearing the inevitable.
The question is,
The question is,
why do I have to be afraid of that?
why do I have to be afraid of that?
That's just their stuff,
That's just their stuff,
and I can handle it.
and I can handle it.
And while some people will judge me,
And while some people will judge me,
other people will really appreciate my light.
other people will really appreciate my light.
In fact, some of the people who judge me harshly
In fact, some of the people that judge me harshly
might become some of my biggest fans.
might become some of my biggest fans.
So I'm clearing what gets in my way.
So I'm clearing what gets in my way.
I'm allowing myself to know
And I'm allowing myself to know
that whatever consequences come from shining brightly,
that whatever consequences come from shining brightly,
I can handle it.
I can handle it.
I've handled everything that's happened in my life.
I've handled everything that's come in my life.
Maybe not always as gracefully as I would have liked,
Maybe not always as gracefully as I would have liked,
but I handled it.
but I handled it.
The proof being that I'm still here.
Proof being that I'm still here.
I'm meant to be here.
I'm meant to be here.
I am meant to shine.
I'm meant to shine.
So I'm setting myself free to shine my light
So I'm setting myself free to shine my own light
in body, mind, and spirit.
in body, mind, and spirit.
And take a deep breath. Close your eyes and think about shining your light and say, it's safe to shine my light.
It's safe to shine my light.
Just to see how that feels. And hopefully that feels more true. Hopefully that's moved up closer to a 10. And sometimes it's, we're tapping, it's like peeling the layers of an onion. So you get more clarity about, oh, this is what it is. And so maybe as we were tapping, you might have remembered something that happened in the third grade. It's like, this is when I started to shut myself down. This is when I started to put that bushel over my light because something happened that felt painful. And then you can address it and see where the misunderstandings were that led to that. It's like, oh, I'm allowed to shine. You're meant to shine.
Brad, yes. Thank you so much. I personally loved that. Thank you. And I hope that those who are with us today, that you followed along. What I'm going to do, Brad, is I'm going to not only, of course, have the recording of this as we have done this today, but I'm also going to edit it and quiet myself so that other people can listen it and simply hear their own voice as they follow along with you. I think that would be really helpful to some people. So, and I'll certainly share that with you if that interests you, Brad.
Oh, yes, please.
Okay. Brad, that was wonderful. And we have here, oh my goodness, I see a longtime friend saying, I have chills. Nice to see you, Brian. And we have Sherry here saying, love EFT tapping. And Christy saying, thank you. And Alina saying, thank you so much. This was phenomenal, so powerful.
Yes, you are.
Brad. Brad, what do you want people, what is the message you ultimately want people to know in the world?
It was several years ago, it hit me. I think my real job is to teach people to love themselves. And you talked about that earlier, about that self-love. And that's really what we're getting at, is because there's so much programming about, oh, you shouldn't love yourself because it's arrogant or conceited. It's like, no, that's not true. Arrogance is not real self-love. Anytime someone is saying they're better than somebody else, they're showing their insecurities. So, but when we truly acknowledge that we are magnificent children of the universe, that we are awesome beyond belief, then we can't help but see that in other people. So, all ships rise with the tide kind of thing. So it's clearing out that stuff and recognizing the gift that you are, so that you shine your light brightly and bring more light to the world.
I love what you did in the tapping round. You included the fear of being judged, because I know that was certainly one that I have had and I've had to work on, and sometimes resurfaces and I have to go, no, it's okay. and I get that. I feel like I see that showing up as I've been sharing the Let Your Light Shine movement. And so I thank you for speaking to that, because that is such a common fear that I think so many people have.
Oh, yeah.
And I love that you even spoke to, you said something about, well, why even focus on that? Because yes, it's inevitable. Someone's going to judge me anyway.
because no matter what you do, if you walk outside, someone's going to judge you for the color of your hair or the outfit that you're wearing. And if you don't go outside, someone's going to judge you for not going out and doing something. If anybody is aware of your existence, they're judging you.
Right.
So we have to just get over it and recognize, okay, I'm here for a reason. And some people might not get it. And some people, for whatever is going on for them, are going to feel a need to judge because we do. The reason we fear judgment is because we're judging other people. It's like, well, I'm doing it to that person, so it's a sure bet that someone's doing it to me. And let's just get over it.
Well, and I like that you said that too, because what I have found is when we find ourselves judging other people, it's also about, wait a second, how am I judging myself?
Oh, yeah.
So
it's
when
a deflection, because
yes.
if I'm not judging other people, then I have to look at myself. So I'm trying to avoid that. But when we're afraid of other people judging us, there's the expression of putting words in someone's mouth. We're putting thoughts in their head. We are saying, it's like, oh, that person thinks I'm an idiot. I have no idea what that person thinks. So who's thinking I'm an idiot? So it's recognizing, oh, okay. So that's a great way to go with tapping, is whatever you think people are judging you for, you're already judging yourself for that. So even though it's me who thinks I'm an idiot, I choose to love and accept myself.
Yeah.
When you know you're awesome, you're going to expect that other people think you're awesome too.
So, Brad, first off, I want to make sure people know where to go to connect with you. And so, of course, yes, you have your YouTube channel. Is there anywhere else you would like to direct people to if they'd like to connect with you beyond today's show?
Yeah, thank you. Simplest is tapwithbrad.com.
Okay.
And that's at my website. You can find the links to all of my different resources. But I'm on all the social media platforms as Tap with Brad.
Perfect. And I put that on the screen there, tapwithbrad.com. And Brad, so I know we started off the show kind of being a little free with the degree of how long we were going to go. What are you feeling right now? I want to honor what feels right for the moment.
I'm feeling great right now. So I'm hanging out with you. You've got all these amazing people. I can feel their energy. I'm totally in my element doing what I love. So you tell me.
Is there another tap that wants to rise to the surface and have a go round with us?
Well, let's do this. Kim, close your eyes. And ask yourself, what might be in the way of this being even better?
So, what I get, and I get this is shown up for me, but I see it showing up for other people, is grief.
Yeah.
So I know you already have plenty of taps on grief, but how do you feel about doing a tap on grief?
Oh, all right. Hey, I'm here to be of service. And if that's what's coming up, then I trust that. So close your eyes, take a deep breath.
Follow along with us.
And for everyone, allow yourself to be aware of any sense of grief that you might be carrying. It might be a grief about a particular loss of a person, maybe recently or in the past. It may be grief about what you've lost over the past year. And allow yourself to be aware, because for some of you, it may not feel like grief. You may be aware of, well, I'm not feeling grief right now, but I feel sadness, or I feel anger, or I feel shame, or worry, fear, whatever might be there. Just allow yourself to be aware of whatever uncomfortable feelings you might have, anything that limits you from feeling, if we were, say, on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 feeling magnificent, whatever stops you from feeling at a 10 right now. And so I'll talk about grief, but allow yourself to insert whatever might be stopping you from being at a 10. Take a deep breath. Let it go. And let's do some tapping. Even though I feel this grief,
Even though I feel this grief,
I choose to love and accept myself.
I choose to love and accept myself.
Even though I feel this grief,
Even though I feel this grief,
I choose to love and honor myself.
I choose to love and honor myself.
Even though I feel this grief,
Even though I feel this grief,
this pain of loss,
this pain of loss,
because I've lost some things.
because I've lost some things.
I've lost some people.
I've lost some people.
There might be all kinds of things I'm grieving.
There might be all kinds of things I'm grieving.
And it really limits my well-being.
And it really limits my well-being.
And even though I feel this grief,
And even though I feel this grief,
I choose to deeply and completely
I choose to deeply and completely
love, honor, and accept myself.
love, honor, and accept myself.
And maybe anyone else involved.
And maybe anyone else involved.
All this grief.
All this grief.
All this grief.
All this grief.
All this sense of loss.
All this sense of loss.
All this pain of loss.
All this pain of loss.
All this pain.
All this pain.
All this pain of grieving.
All this pain of grieving.
Because of things that I've lost.
Because the things that I've lost.
All these things that are missing.
All these things that are missing.
I may be grieving things that I used to have.
I may be grieving things that I used to have.
People that I used to have.
People that I used to have.
Pets that I used to have.
Pets that I used to have.
People or things that were a source of comfort.
People or things that were a source of comfort.
That I no longer have.
That I no longer have.
I may be grieving lost opportunities.
I may be grieving lost opportunities.
things that I wish I could have done,
things that I wish I could have done,
or things that I've done in the past
or things that I've done in the past
that I haven't been able to do.
that I haven't been able to do.
All this grief.
All this grief.
And I love and honor myself
And I love and honor myself
as I process my feelings.
as I process my feelings.
This is a totally human response,
This is a totally human response,
and I am honoring my grief.
and I'm honoring my grief.
And at the same time,
And at the same time,
I'm allowing myself to move through it
I'm allowing myself to move through it
as quickly as I can allow myself to.
as quickly as I can allow myself to.
I'm allowing myself to get whatever I need from it,
I'm allowing myself to get whatever I need from it,
and allowing myself to feel as good as possible
and allowing myself to feel as good as possible
when that feels appropriate.
when that feels appropriate.
Part of me says,
Part of me says,
I need to feel this grief.
I need to feel this grief.
Part of that is a natural process.
Part of that is a natural process.
And for a lot of us,
And for a lot of us,
some of us fabricate some grief.
some of us fabricate some grief,
We create more than we actually need
create more than we actually need
because it feels like our duty.
because it feels like our duty.
We have all these old messages
We have all these old messages
about how much grief we should feel.
about how much grief we should feel.
And maybe people are telling us,
And maybe people are telling us
you should be grieving more,
we should be grieving more
because that's how I show that I care.
because that's how I show that I care.
If I'm not grieving enough,
If I'm not grieving enough,
people will say I just didn't care.
people will say I just didn't care.
So I'm giving myself permission
So I'm giving myself permission
to let go of this need to impress other people
to let go of this need to impress other people
with how much I show my care
with how much I show my care
by suffering.
by suffering.
And I'm processing this,
And I'm processing this,
giving myself permission to heal
giving myself permission to heal
because I have a right to heal.
because I have a right to heal.
I have a right to grieve.
I have a right to grieve.
I also have a right to feel peace.
I also have a right to feel peace.
And I'm giving myself permission
And I'm giving myself permission
to process these feelings,
to process these feelings,
allowing myself to see
allowing myself to see
that even when I have lost things and people,
that even when I have lost things and people,
there's still a lot of blessings in my life.
there's still a lot of blessings in my life.
There are a lot of things to feel good about.
There are a lot of things to feel good about.
That doesn't mean I dismiss what I lost.
That doesn't mean I dismiss what I lost.
I acknowledge and honor my feelings,
I acknowledge and honor my feelings,
and I'm processing them
and I'm processing them
so that I can be aware
so that I can be aware
of how much good is still here for me,
of how much good is still here for me,
and how many awesome people are still here for me.
and how many awesome people are still here for me.
All these things that help feed the light that I am
All these things that help feed the light that I am
so that I can shine more brightly.
so that I can shine more brightly.
And I can acknowledge
And I can acknowledge
that going through the grieving process
that going through the grieving process
can teach me how to shine more brightly.
can teach me how to shine more brightly.
It's all good.
It's all good.
And I'm loving myself in the process
And I am loving myself in the process
because I'm worthy and deserving of loving myself.
because I'm worthy and deserving of loving myself.
And I'm clearing any doubts about that,
And I'm clearing any doubts about that,
clearing those at a cellular level,
clearing those at a cellular level,
clearing those all the way back through my past,
clearing those all the way back through my past,
back through any time in my life
back through any time in my life
that I somehow got the message
that I somehow got the message
that maybe I wasn't so worthy of love.
that maybe I wasn't so worthy of love.
That was totally a misunderstanding.
That was totally misunderstanding.
I am so absolutely worthy of love.
I am so absolutely worthy of love.
And it starts with me giving it to myself.
And it starts with me giving it to myself.
And I'm loving myself in this process
And I'm loving myself in this process
as I deal with the feelings that I have.
as I deal with the feelings that I have.
And I try to make sense of my world
And I try to make sense of my world
and what I have
and what I have
and what I've lost
and what I've lost
and what's still coming.
and what's still coming.
And I'm allowing myself to be excited about that
And I'm allowing myself to be excited about that
as I allow myself to love myself even more
as I allow myself to love myself even more.
in body, mind, and spirit.
Body, mind, and spirit.
And take a deep breath. go ahead and close your eyes and get in touch with whatever grief is there or whatever else it might have been, and rate it again on a scale of 0 to 10, and just see if it's shifting. For some, it may go way down, and for others, it may just be a process of getting more clear about, oh, here's what's going on behind that, and give you information to help you move forward.
Brad, that was fantastic. I absolutely love how you, thank you. I love how you spoke to the permission aspect of allowing ourselves to not have to take on everyone else's grief. And it's okay to allow ourselves to move beyond it and know that we still care. It doesn't mean we don't care. Because I think a lot of people, they have that belief or perception that if I show that I'm okay, if I show that I'm moving forward, other people are going to think I don't care, or I don't love them or anymore, or things like that. So for those who are with us, let us know in the chat, how was that for you? What are you taking away from that tapping round? And I see Helene has shared with us. She shared earlier, I am worthy to see me with the love I receive through me. Yes. Amen, Helene. Yes, yes. And you also had, this was the other comment I meant to click on. She said, when I listen to Brad talking, he sounds like a minister. And that is deep for me. Have you heard anyone say that to you before, Brad?
I don't know that anyone's used that term, but yeah, it's similar things. But I hope that's a positive thing.
Yeah, I think it's very soothing.
Can be triggering for some people.
It could be. I see it as a very soothing.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm touched.
Yeah, and Alina is saying that was amazing how he transitioned us from grief to self-love and back to shining our light. I agree, Alina. I completely agree. So, Brad, as we were doing that, I was wondering if you might be able to doing one more.
Wow, Kim, you are just so greedy.
I think that's a yes.
As Captain America says, I can do this all day.
Okay. So we're not gonna. We'll just do one more. Hello to Kara, who is also with us, saying, lovely to be here. It's lovely to have you here, Kara. And for everyone who's joined us, whether you've popped in and out, you're seeing this for a reason. And so hopefully this has been of service to you with whatever is going on in your world these days, and in processing your grief, moving back into self-love, and moving forward into shining your light. And so we have Alina saying, yes, please. I think that's a yes, please to doing one more. So thank you, Alina. I'm not the only one here. Okay, awesome. So Brad, here's what I was thinking is you opened the doorway for moving forward. And I'm wondering if you would be open to doing one that's focused on moving forward. This is the Every Day is a New Day show about, wherever you are today does not have to be where you were yesterday. Actually, I think I tend to say it backwards. Wherever you are today does not have to be where you are tomorrow. And of course, the reverse is true too. And so that's what's coming up for me is doing a moving forward, embracing taking that next step.
You are singing my song, Kim. I talk about going forward. My membership is called Advance.
Okay.
It's all about moving forward. So
say a few more words about that, because I want to make sure people know how to join that. Where should they go if they want to join?
Oh, you can find all about that at tapwithbrad.com. Yeah, you can find out about my group, Workshop Mastermind, and the membership and things like that.
Okay, perfect. So, and that is in the chat. So
advancing confidently in the direction of your dreams. So close your eyes, take a deep breath. And say, I would advance, or I would move forward, except that ...
I would move forward, except that ...
And just allow yourself to feel what goes on inside. You may have words that come to mind, or you may just have like a tightness somewhere in your body. Just allow your body and mind to let you know what might be stopping you from moving forward at the pace that you'd like to. Just let that be there. Take a deep breath, open your eyes. And just for fun, we're going to change it around and we're going to start with a positive phrase at the beginning. I choose to move powerfully forward.
I choose to move powerfully forward.
And I choose to love and accept myself.
And I choose to love and accept myself.
I choose to move powerfully forward.
I choose to move powerfully forward.
And I choose to love and honor myself.
And I choose to love and honor myself.
I choose to move powerfully forward.
I choose to move powerfully forward.
I choose to advance confidently in the direction of my dreams.
I choose to advance confidently in the direction of my dreams.
And I'm allowing myself all the rewards that come from that.
And I'm allowing myself all the rewards that come from that.
And I'm bringing people with me.
And I'm bringing people with me.
I choose to move powerfully forward.
I choose to move powerfully forward.
And I choose to deeply and completely
And I choose to deeply and completely
love, honor, and accept myself.
love, honor, and accept myself.
And maybe anybody else involved.
And maybe anybody else involved.
Maybe everybody on the planet.
Maybe everybody on the planet.
Because that would be awesome.
Because that would be awesome.
I'm moving powerfully forward.
I'm moving powerfully forward.
I choose to move powerfully forward.
I choose to move powerfully forward.
And I acknowledge
And I acknowledge
that moving powerfully forward
that moving powerfully forward
sometimes scares me.
sometimes scares me.
Sometimes it scares the bejeebers out of me.
Sometimes it scares the bejeebers out of me.
And that's why sometimes I slow down.
And that's why sometimes I slow down.
Or stop.
Or stop.
Or go backwards.
Or go backwards.
And it's not because I'm bad or stupid.
And it's not because I'm bad or stupid.
It's not because I'm weak or lazy.
It's not because I'm weak or lazy.
It's because part of me says,
It's because part of me says,
whoa, this is not safe.
whoa, this is not safe.
This does not fit the plan
This does not fit the plan
that was formed out of fear.
that was formed out of fear.
And I love and appreciate those parts of me
And I love and appreciate those parts of me
that have been trying to keep me safe
that have been trying to keep me safe
based on misinformation.
based on misinformation.
I am here to move forward
I am here to move forward
and to bring folks with me.
and to bring folks with me.
And so I'm clearing what gets in my way.
And so I'm clearing what gets in my way.
These fears that trip me up.
These fears that trip me up.
These misunderstandings.
These misunderstandings.
These fears that I can't handle what happens.
These fears that I can't handle what happens.
These fears that I'm not good enough.
These fears that I'm not good enough.
If I wasn't good enough, I wouldn't even be here.
If I wasn't good enough, I wouldn't even be here.
I have the universe's stamp of approval.
I have the universe's stamp of approval.
I'm good enough to be here.
I'm good enough to be here.
And I'm good enough to share my light.
And I'm good enough to shine my light.
And I'm moving forward.
And I'm moving forward.
Clearing whatever's been slowing me down.
Clearing whatever's been slowing me down.
It's safe for me to move forward.
It's safe for me to move forward.
And I will figure it out as I go.
And I will figure it out as I go.
Part of me has been saying,
Part of me has been saying,
I'm waiting till I have a guarantee
I'm waiting till I have a guarantee
that there won't be anything in my way.
that there won't be anything in my way.
And I'll do it all perfectly.
And I'll do it all perfectly.
And I've been waiting for a while.
And I've been waiting for a while.
I don't have a guarantee it'll always go smoothly.
I don't have a guarantee that it will always go smoothly.
But I can guarantee
But I can guarantee
that I'll always figure it out.
that I'll always figure it out.
And I'll always learn.
And I'll always learn.
And that'll help me move forward even more powerfully.
And that will help me move forward even more powerfully.
So moving forward
So moving forward
is a win-win situation.
is a win-win situation.
Either it goes exactly as I want,
Either it goes exactly as I want,
or I learn more about how to do it the way I want.
or I learn more about how to do it the way I want.
And I get more clarity about what I want.
And I get more clarity about what I want.
Sometimes I'm afraid to move forward
Sometimes I'm afraid to move forward
because I'm not sure it's the right direction.
because I'm not sure it's the right direction.
And I sit here at the fork in the road
And I sit here at the fork in the road
until I know which path to take.
until I know which path to take.
But I may not know which path
But I may not know which path
until I start down one of them
until I start down one of them
and find that it's the path that I want,
and find that it's the path that I want,
or it's not the path that I want.
or it's not the path that I want.
Then I can move powerfully forward down the different path.
And I can move powerfully forward down the different path.
It's all brilliant.
It's all brilliant.
And I love and forgive myself
And I love and forgive myself
for being confused
for being confused
and staying stuck.
and staying stuck.
And I'm done with that.
And I'm done with that.
I got stuff to do.
I've got stuff to do.
I don't have time to sit around anymore.
I don't have time to sit around anymore.
So I'm clearing the fears and doubts,
So I'm clearing the fears and doubts,
clearing the resistance,
clearing the resistance,
figuring out what I need to know
figuring out what I need to know
as I allow myself to advance confidently.
as I allow myself to advance confidently.
I'm allowing myself to know
I'm allowing myself to know
I've got what it takes to do what it takes.
I've got what it takes to do what it takes.
And I'm a magnificent child of the universe,
And I'm a magnificent child of the universe,
worthy and deserving of the best this world has to offer.
worthy and deserving of the best this world has to offer.
But I got to move forward to get some of it.
But I've got to move forward to get some of it.
I can't expect the universe to bring it all to me where I am.
I can't expect the universe to, what
To
did you say?
bring it all to me where I am.
To bring it all to me to where I am.
I'm going for it.
I'm going for it.
I got stuff to do.
I've got stuff to do.
I've got gifts and talents to share.
I've got gifts and talents to share.
I got lots of light to shine.
I've got lots of light to shine.
I'm allowing myself to do so with love
I'm allowing myself to do so with love
in body, mind, and spirit.
in body, mind, and spirit.
And take a deep breath. Close your eyes and say, I am moving forward.
I am moving forward.
Just allow yourself to feel how that feels, and hopefully it feels pretty good. And to the extent that it's not at a 10, just allow yourself to know, okay, great. Now I know what's holding me back, because most of the time we're sitting around going, oh, I'm not getting much done. I wonder why. I'll go watch some TV. and we don't address it because we're afraid to address it. It's like, no, allow yourself to see it and go, oh, there's a tree that fell down in the middle of the road. I need to move that so that I can get moving again.
Brad, what do you say to the person who notices that as they tap, new stuff starts to show up?
Yeah, make a note of it and redirect the tapping at that stuff, because that's what it is. It's peeling layers of the onion. We may be tapping along. I was working with this guy once who said we were tapping on some issue that had happened in his life. And each point it's like, oh no, it was actually this thing that happened 5 years earlier. Oh, it's actually about my mom. Oh, it was layers of the onion were just flying off. So yeah, you just keep.
So it's not uncommon. It's not uncommon.
Not uncommon at all. Yeah.
Awesome.
And that's the thing is, those are those things that stop us. And because we don't deal with that first layer, we never address with what's way behind that. And we sit here thinking, man, I wish I was sharing my light. I wish I was moving forward. Oh, well. And as we start forward and clearing that stuff out, we start to bring up that stuff that's in the way, and we really experience a level of freedom that we didn't know was possible.
Brad, Lena is saying, what a perfect way to end this session. Thank you both for making this available to us today. And I completely agree. Brad, this was really such a treat to have you here and speak to my audience, but speak to everyone, speak to the planet, speak to your audience, speak to everyone who found us today. There are no mistakes. There are no mistakes. And so if you randomly found this and you're going, what is this? Why is this speaking to me? You know what? I say, go back, watch from the beginning, do the tapping rounds with Brad. And again, Brad, I'm going to edit these out so that my voice is removed and people can follow along with you and just hear their voice as well, for anyone who would like that. I'll put that on my YouTube channel and I'll give those to you as well, Brad.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Brad, this was seriously so wonderful. Thank you so much for being here. I want to remind everyone, if you'd like to connect with Brad, go to tapwithbrad.com. And do you have a link to your YouTube channel on your website?
Yes. And you can just go to YouTube/tapwithbrad.
Yeah. Okay.
Subscribe, like, comment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much for what you're doing, Kim, for the way that you're shining your light. And thank you so much for this platform to be able to share this work. I greatly appreciate it. And thank you for everyone who's watching and being willing to clear that stuff that keeps you from shining your light as brightly as possible. We need you.
Absolutely. I agree. And I think it's really important to acknowledge that everyone's light shines in their own unique, authentic way. And so I want to go back to that piece, because I know some people who I've invited to join the Let Your Light Shine movement. Some people are on board and they're like, yes, I'm there, Kim. I feel this. I'm there. I see it. And they join without hesitation. And other people I know are holding themselves back because they see the other people who have joined. Because some have opted to be featured on the web, on social media, and I think they're comparing themselves to other people. And the whole point of the movement is that there is no comparison. There is no comparison. Oh my goodness, that could be a whole other tap. I'm not gonna ask that.
Kim, there's a tap for that.
There's.
In fact, I think I have a couple of videos on comparison. So go to YouTube, type in Brad Yates comparison, and you can clear that stuff out, because it's not about not being as good as other people, because for each of us, we shine our light, and our light is going to touch some people, and some other people, our light isn't going to be the right light. But for some people, your light is going to touch people in a way that no one else is.
Yes.
You are the exact right person. I tell this to other tappers. People are like, oh, I'm afraid to put in videos out because you have all these videos. It's like, there are people who are not going to like my videos, but the way that you do a video is going to touch somebody the way that no one else can. There's a reason you're here. You're not here by accident.
And that goes for everybody, every single person. So thank you. Thank you for speaking to that. Again, go to tapwithbrad.com to connect more with Brad and his services. And yes, anything at all that you want to tap on, whether it be physical pain, emotional pain. I know you recently did resentment. You did gossiping. You even have other Every Day is a New Day ones. I've seen similar topics like that. Anything at all that you would like to release and move beyond, Brad's got a tap for that for sure. So
Let's do it.
So with that, thank you to everyone who's been here today. If you'd like to connect more with me, you can go to KimO'NeillCoaching.com, find out more about the Every Day is a New Day show and my services. And remember, wherever you are today does not have to be where you are tomorrow. Tapping is a fantastic tool for that. And if you enjoyed this video, then you know someone who will as well. And so you are encouraged to share it with them. Brad, thank you so much for being here. Such a treat. Have an amazing day, everybody. We'll be back on Monday with another Inspirational Message Monday, and on Thursday with another amazing guest interview. Stay right there, Brad. I'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye.